Okay, today you're going to start painting using the primary colors, and you want to use each one of them independently without mixing anything first. Before you start painting, I would make sure that you have your brushes kind of laying on the inside of your palette lid, and you have one of each of the primary colors. You have gotten your water cup, and as you can see, it's really only about half full. You don't need a lot of water for this. You have a paper towel that you folded up so that it's a lot more absorbent. Typically I end up holding mine. It's really good to rinse your brushes really well and then just blot them gently on the paper towel. You're not adding water to this paint because it is not watercolor. So when you start to apply the paint, you will want to erase the abbreviation of the color that you're going to go ahead and paint, and right now I'm erasing the Y's, which means that's where I'm going to paint the yellow. So I'm going to dip just enough paint where the paint is just on the tip of the brush, and then when I'm painting, I'm not really going to put very much pressure on the brush. So I'm going to go through and quickly apply some yellow, very carefully. Dip, and then I sometimes take some off. This is a very fine line here, and this yellow will then blend into another color eventually, maybe yellow orange or yellow green. So I just sort of feathered those strokes out because when I have those mixed colors, I will have the primary back on my palette. And so then I have a little bit of yellow here that I will also then come back and accent. And so I'm just putting it in a couple of places. So once I'm done with the yellow, rinse my brush, blot it again on the paper towel, and then I would move on to another primary color. So here I have red on this staircase. I have red blending to red violet. I'm only doing the red right now, so very carefully taking the fresh paint around the edges and then pulling the paint in, sort of like when we carved on our clay, we work from the line toward the center. And then I will have just a rough edge here. It's kind of dry brush, because later on when I mix up my red violet, red will be on my palette again, and I'll re-wet the red and blend it into the red violet. So for now, I've finished the red there, and then I see I have some more red here, so I'd quickly do the same thing. Feather that out, rinse my brush, and then I could move on to my blues. So I just have a couple of blues around some of the edges of the cloud, so I'm just going to erase that and then quickly go through and accent. So for me, I don't really have a lot of solid primary colors because there will be just a few areas where they'll pop out because the majority of the colors I would like in my painting are going to be a blend or a mix. But you do have a requirement where you need to show a little bit of each of those primaries somewhere in your piece. So now you can see that my primaries are done.